All right, let's have a real conversation about something most of us guys have been conditioned to overlook, asking directly for what we want. Seriously, how many of us walk through life thinking we need to tiptoe around what we truly desire, especially when it comes to women? Well, I'm about to tell you something that might ruffle a few feathers, but hear me out. It'll change everything. There are two simple words that will transform how you connect with women and honestly, with people in general. Ready for it? I want. Yup, that's it. Two small but insanely powerful words. I want. And let me tell you, using these words unapologetically will make you not only more confident, but also completely irresistible to most women. I know, it sounds almost too simple to be true, but trust me, this is a game changer. These words have the power to help you cut through all the confusion, miscommunication, and endless guessing games. They're straightforward, direct, and they work. Now, before we dive deeper, let's address the elephant in the room. For a lot of us, this idea feels uncomfortable. Why? Because since we were kids, society drilled into us that being polite is the most important thing. Our parents, teachers, and every adult in our lives told us to be nice, to say please and thank you, to avoid hurting anyone's feelings, and to never make anyone mad. And there's nothing wrong with being polite, but somewhere along the way, that politeness morphed into passivity. We started associating being respectful with not speaking up for ourselves. We stopped asking for what we want because we were afraid of coming across as rude, selfish, or pushy. Here's the kicker, though. By not asking for what we want, we became pleasers. We became guys who say what we think everyone wants to hear, who avoid confrontation at all costs, and who try to keep the peace no matter what. And while that might sound noble on the surface, let's be real, it's exhausting. It's also one of the quickest ways to get labeled as the nice guy. And you know what happens to nice guys, right? They end up stuck in the friend zone, forgotten or taken for granted. So let me ask you this. Why should being polite mean you can't be direct? Why should being respectful mean you can't be honest and upfront about what you want? Think about it. Being clear about your intentions doesn't make you rude, it makes you real. Here's another truth bomb. Women respect men who are direct. They appreciate guys who know what they want and aren't afraid to say it. It's refreshing, it's bold, and honestly, it's what most women crave. Let's talk about masculine communication for a second. When you're talking to your buddies, how do you usually speak? You're direct, right? You say what's on your mind without dancing around the subject. It's straightforward and effective. So why do so many of us completely change that approach when talking to women? Why do we suddenly feel the need to be subtle, vague, and overly cautious? Here's the harsh truth. Subtlety doesn't get you anywhere with women. It leads to confusion, mixed signals, and yes, that dreaded friend zone. Now here's the good news. You don't have to overcomplicate things. The best way to break free from this cycle is to start using those two magic words, I want. It's a technique that leading relationship coaches swear by, and for good reason. It works because it taps into what women truly want from men: leadership, clarity, and confidence. Women are naturally drawn to masculine energy, and that energy thrives on being decisive and direct. It's about stepping up and leading without fear or hesitation. Let me clarify something before we move on. Being direct doesn't mean being rude or dismissive of her feelings. It's not about bulldozing over her opinions or acting like a jerk. What it does mean is having the courage to state your desires without apology. And if she's not on the same page, that's okay. You move on. It's not about pressuring anyone. It's about being honest and respectful enough to avoid wasting anyone's time. That level of clarity is actually a form of respect. Think about it this way. Direct communication avoids unnecessary drama and confusion. It eliminates the guessing game and sets the tone right from the start. Want an example? Instead of endlessly dropping hints or skirting around your intentions, just say, I want to take you out tomorrow, or I want to be more than friends. It's simple, confident, and effective. Women don't want a guy who's afraid to express himself. They want someone who knows what he wants and isn't afraid to ask for it. Now I get it. For a lot of guys, this approach feels uncomfortable at first. It goes against everything we've been taught. But that's exactly why it's so powerful. The discomfort you feel is a sign that you're stepping out of your comfort zone and breaking old habits. And guess what? That's where growth happens. To make this easier, start small. Practice using I want in your everyday interactions. Whether it's at work, with friends, or even while ordering your morning coffee, get used to stating your desires clearly. Over time, it'll feel more natural and you'll notice a shift in how people respond to you, especially women. Here's the thing, you can't please everyone, and honestly, you shouldn't even try. Trying to make everyone happy is what got you stuck in the first place. When you start being direct about what you want, you'll find that people start respecting you more. You'll come across as confident, self-assured, and yes, far more attractive. Women will see you differently because you're no longer playing it safe or hiding behind politeness. So, are you ready to take control of your life and your relationships? Start using I want unapologetically. It might feel awkward at first, but stick with it. The results will speak for themselves. And when you notice the difference, come back and let me know how it worked for you. I want to hear your stories, your wins, and even your struggles. Let's grow together. That's all for this conversation, but don't stop here. Go out and try it. Until next time, keep being bold, direct, and unapologetically yourself. You've got this.